What are the real chances of Marine Le Pen becoming French president in 2 months?
Well, thank you for having me, Francine, and good morning. Let me tell you one thing. We win this one. This one is for us. Nothing will stop us from winning this one, because if the Almighty in person had written the script for that election, he wouldn't have written anything otherwise. So the odds are great, and what we look at with some enjoyment is that the markets look at our project for the country with a lot of interest.
Yeah, and I want to get back to that in a second, but actually I'm still looking at the polls, Mikael, and I'm trying to figure out what are the real chances of Marine Le Pen winning, because he says this one is for us. I look at the polls, and they're not that close. She would make it to the first round, but then she would lose against François Fillon and Emmanuel Macron. Does she have a bigger chance? And I'm looking at odds and the probabilities of that here. Do you think Marine Le Pen has a better chance against Emmanuel Macron or against François Fillon?
You know, I'm a sportsman. We'll take whoever comes and we'll defeat him. Talking about the polls, I want to remind you that be it on Brexit or on the election of Donald Trump, they were completely wrong. They've been consistently wrong for weeks and months prior to those two major elections. And I can tell you one thing, they will be wrong this time too, because I think that an election is about dynamics. And it is clear to all observers and to all French citizens that the dynamic is really on our side.
Right. I mean, the polls, both for Brexit and Donald Trump, I think were a lot closer. Maybe the markets didn't want to see it, but they seemed a lot closer. Certainly, they were in the margin of error. Mr. Sala, give me a sense of what you think the French people will go and vote for in the first round or the second round. Is it the economy, is it business, or is it security?
Well, it's actually both. We witnessed the situation of France, which has been a continuous downward slide for the last couple of decades, and the French are weary of that. They can't have it anymore. The subject of immigration weighs heavily on the French community, and also talking about business in the economy, it's going from bad to worse. We have now something close to 7 million unemployed in this country. It's just unsustainable. We have 9 million considered to be under the poverty level. So this is completely unsustainable, and our project for France is just, as, if you forgive me for quoting President Trump, to make France great again, and we will achieve this by making it grow again.
Did you meet with advisors from BlackRock, Barclays, and UBS, who we understand met some, advisors to Marine Le Pen?
Yes, we did. We have a lot of interest from investors and advisors. We've had interest for the last few weeks and months, and it's quite a pleasure to discuss our project with these people, because they're very pragmatic. They're professionals. They're very businesslike, and this is the approach we take too. We are on the team of Marine Le Pen, who's going to be the coming president of France, and we're going to be making France grow out of its misery, and we will do it in a very professional and businesslike manner. So it makes the
right.
talks we have with investors and their advisors very pleasant.
So, Mikael Sala, what was the one thing that actually all investors wanted to know? I imagine it's how you return France to monetary sovereignty and whether that would be disastrous. What was your answer?
Yeah, sure. It's definitely something they want to know. But before we get to that topic, they really lend a very close ear to our global project, which is tax breaks for households. It is a pro-business policy towards especially small and medium-sized businesses. And what we do in order to make sure that these, the boost on demand and offer benefits the French economy is we create a reasonable and fair amount of protection on our borders, and we want to regain our sovereignty over our borders. And if you couple these two approaches, it makes our economy grow, and it makes unemployment, it creates jobs, you know. So this is something they very well understand. And when they talk about the currency, they understand also that like 99% of countries in the world, France, which is the fifth economy in the world, deserves to have its currency. And we will handle returning to our monetary sovereignty in a business-like kind of way, of course.
Right. Mikael, can we just go back a step? Because I want to take these steps one by one. First of all, would it be a very pure anti-immigration, anti-refugee, security measures-led closing of the borders that Marine Le Pen would want to do? And do you not actually accept that France is not the US? So it'd be quite difficult to spur domestic demand from within the country all by itself.
Spurring domestic demand is pretty simple. If you cut taxes by 10% on all French households, except, of course, the top bracket, which does not need any tax break, what you do is you give the French their money back, and it's the equivalent of 2 months of taxes that the French will get back. Especially the lower incomes, that money that they get back goes straight back into consumption. Any and all, you know, who's aware of economy knows that when you cut taxes on the lower incomes, it goes straight back into the economy. So the boost will work.
All right.
It's really economy by the book. It's economy 101. So nobody, you know, denies the fact that it will work.